Thank you very much, Randy. We'll go right to the phone calls. First up to date, Ian, Edmond, Oklahoma. Hi, Ian.
How you doing, Hank?
Good, thank you.
So, as I understand it, the Great Tribulation was in around AD 70 when the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem. Is that correct?
Well, there's a couple of things that I would say here. First of all, it wasn't the Babylonians who sacked Jerusalem at that time. I mean, the Babylonians did sack Jerusalem, but this happened in an Old Testament epic. In the New Testament, it was the Romans who sacked Jerusalem. But your question leads to a greater point, and that is Jesus looked back on the abomination that causes desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel. So Jesus did look back to a time in which Antiochus IV Epiphanes desecrated the sanctuary. And he used that as an example of what was going to happen in the far future when the Romans would do the same thing, except this time it would not just be a desecration, it would be an ultimate destruction. So that tribulation was the tribulation that Jesus looked back at, on the one hand, in the time of Daniel, and it was also something that Jesus looked forward to in the time that Jerusalem and the temple would be destroyed. Now, remember that what I'm saying is governed by the words of Jesus Christ himself. Jesus Christ made very plain that he was making a prophecy with respect to tribulation that would take place within a generation. And many skeptics today look at Jesus Christ because they misread the scripture and say, well, Jesus was a false prophet, because they see in the same passage, the Olivet Discourse, the notion that the end of the world would come. But that's not what Jesus Christ was speaking of at all. He was talking about the end or the termination of the age of sacrifice. Again, written about this in the book Apocalypse Code. When you get it back from your friend, you'll be able to read all about it.